Hello vintage button people, it's Lindsay. I junk journal, I slow stitch, I do that as sustainably as possible, and I do that for my well-being and hopefully yours. Now, you might have noticed, if you are a vintage button person who actively engages and stuff, that I've put out less videos recently, and that is because I have hit a sort of energy wall, and well, actually feel like I've fallen down an energy well. And so I've been doing my commitment for Slow Stitch September. And I didn't do a meditation video for Monday. And those videos are very important to me. But because of the commitment for Slow Stitch September, I only had an energy for one or the other. So I didn't do it. And this was going to be a meditation video, but I have intermittent noise. And I can't control that because there's building work happening. And hopefully they will settle down. But I can't guarantee that. So I'm not going to do a meditation. But I am going to do something mindful. If you've been around and you watched like last time's meditation, I talked about this and my Be Happy Stationery. I'm on the design team for Be Happy Stationery, and my design team project this month has been this whimsical autumn, and I've really got to thinking about words when I made this journal. And I used to journal less in an artistic way and more in a just sort of stream of consciousness, write down, reflect, those types of things. And I kind of want to address the balance. I think I want to sort of lean back into that, not necessarily for the channel. I'm on about for me personally. And it came out in this book. I actually think it came out in a really artistic way that I'm enjoying, and probably will be more present in other journals. I've got a few journals I've always got a few journals in mind. I do have a particular project in October that will be very like this though. And so these are some of the words that I kind of came up with. There was like reflect, change, dwell. Just like, I love that word dwell, just be. Yeah, the kind of relaxing words, but also some quite challenging words about transformation and beauty and confidence, and making art, and that our art matters. Just this book became full of meaningful words and meaningful emotions. And I went and I was reminded of a book that I'm going to bring it when I do the meditation. I was reminded of a book by Brené Brown, and it's called The Atlas of the Heart. And it's almost like the way she's done it, it's beautifully written because everything she writes is beautiful. And it talks about emotions and sort of recognizing an emotion so that you can sort of have a handle on it rather than it having a handle on us. You know, that sort of how you don't have to necessarily live your emotions, but you can sort of think about why you feel that way. And so I was like, okay, that is something that's resonating with me. And then I thought about perhaps what I need. I have a prompt jar, like a junk journal prompt jar, where it might have, do a layered tag, or a bit like junk journal January or junk journal July. You have those daily prompts. I thought perhaps what I need is words, and then I could reflect on those words. And I know I kind of have done that before. I've chosen 5 words for the year to focus on. I remember the first year I did this, like made this shift into just focusing on like single words. I actually just chose one word, and it was 2020. And I chose the word health. So, I felt like I brought the pandemic on with that one. I know I didn't, but it was that sort of, oh, why would I do that? So now I want to just not be bound by these are the words for the year. Having said that, beginning of 2025, my word was connection, and I really did connect with people through YouTube. Like it creates an intention. But I just thought I wanted my own glossary of terms, my own words. So I'm going to make a word box, and it's going to have some of these words in it. And we're going to make one word card today. And I just wanted to give you some ideas in case you wanted to do this. You don't have to, but But this is my box. It originally was a sweetie box. I made a journal, like one of my junk journals. My just junk journal. My last one was actually made from one of these boxes. It is sugar-free sweeties from Aldi. I don't know if they have the same boxes for things in different countries. Let me know. Is that what the sugar-free sweets look like in other parts of the world from Aldi, if you do indeed shop at Aldi? We're very much on an Aldi budget. But there we go. So what I've done is I've covered it in dictionary paper, because I thought that was sort of apt, and it's thin paper. I just glue stick the dictionary paper on. I made a little vignette from my scrap box. So it's got all kinds of bits and bobs that I just sort of shove back into this drawer. If I don't know where to put it, I will just put it in the drawer. There's some really nice little bits and pieces from magazines, from books, from printables, from stamped images. It's all there. So I made this little vignette. I actually made a video of it, but the noise was overwhelming. It was overwhelming me so that I couldn't talk. And so I checked, you wouldn't be able to hear it very much, but I could hear it and I couldn't talk because it was just there in the background. So we made that, and then I was thinking, right, well, we'll make a card together. So if you were having like a smaller box, I was thinking, I've got lots and lots of tea cards. I mean, I literally have hundreds of tea cards, because you can buy them in our antique places for a big bag for like £1 or £2. So I generally, if I see them, I will pick them up, because there's always something nice, but you get a lot of duds. So this is a lovely fighter jet. It's not really my vibe. So, you know, I like the back and I like the lion's tea, and I think that, you know, you could put a nice label, like the label on the front of the box, actually, like one of those labels could go on there, and you could write the word on there, or you could redecorate that and write the word. So you could use it to use up like the ugly things and make them pretty, but we're not going to use those. So I'm going to put that to one side because I am in need of space. And I thought, for, you know, like to make your box, it literally doesn't have to be, this small. You could use like a tea box. If you think like a tea box would be good, you could almost make it like an index card. This is just full of junk that probably needs to go in there, but there you go. You can make like a tea box, or, you know, it could be an old tin. You could make a pretty envelope, and it could be, you know, that. Or you could make them in a book and just stick the pages in the book. I just thought that this would be almost like you know, like you can get prompt cards, you could get affirmation cards. We're going to make affirmations. This is just going to be single words, but I do think I sort of want a sort of affirmation or a notion box where it's a phrase that you could dwell on as well. If you have a faith, I mean, I don't, I should imagine that you would do the same thing with whatever scripture you kind of venerate. So, you know, it's a very similar idea. It could be all things. So we've got that. Now, a few weeks back, we made, and I think it was a meditation video, I don't know, we made a masterboard. So we made a masterboard. There's some printables in this, there's some napkins. We made this masterboard, and then we chopped it up, and then I was like, okay, this is what, you know, we can use this now to add tags to things, to put them into junk journals. We could do all kinds of things. And I thought, oh, look at that, that's made for it. It's like it was just made for it. We can use these things to make our words cards, and they don't all have to be the same size. It's just that that's really good that fits in. So if you imagine, if we made like a stack of them, you could fill it up, and then there would be, you could reach for this. If you wanted to have like just some meaningful journaling time, some art journaling time, like this type of thing can help you with the painty, arty stuff, because you would have a word or a focus to go around. I'm still developing my thoughts. When I have something clear, I will tell you. So anyway, we've picked this card. We are 10 minutes in. and I don't want to be that long, but I kind of want to do our word, and our word that we're going to use is gentle. So I don't know if we're going to do it on the front, we're going to do it on the back. If we did it on the back, then we could have a bit of journaling space as well, couldn't we? Got stuff like this, printable. Kind of like the idea of that. So I'm just digging into, this is what I mean about, like, if you have little scraps hanging about, keep your little scraps. Always useful for stuff like this. In fact, I think scraps are more, in many ways, scraps are more sort of inspiring, you know? I think so, anyway. So here we go. So we have like a little journaling spot. Perhaps actually I might leave that blank. I did have a glue stick. I did have a glue stick. I knocked it flying. Oh, it's there. So yeah. So I've forgotten what I was going to say. I have perimenopausal brain and just exhaustion, actually. This is what I mean when I say I've fallen down a well of exhaustion. Because I spend all day listening and talking to people, that sort of, that saps my energy, I think. And I have to do that because that pays my mortgage. So, you know, I'd love to sit all day and talk to you guys, but that's not what pays the mortgage. Right, I like that. That's giving us... Now, do I put the word here? We could put the word there. There's nothing stopping us. Like that. We could still add bits on, couldn't we? Right, let's think about the word. The word that I want to use is gentle. And I want to use sort of pens and do the outliney thing. And let's put that back there. Then I can always reach for it if I need to. Let's choose a colour. Quite like that colour. Let's have a see. Choose some colours. Oh, I like blue actually. Oh, I like that green. I can see I like that green. We will see. I know I've left my white pen downstairs, but we don't need a white pen. It doesn't have to be outlined in white. It could just be the colour. It could be outlined in gold actually. I know I've got a gold gel pen somewhere. Blue and gold will go. Let's have a go. Let's have a look and see what goes. Oh, I like that blue. Will that blue go on there? Oh, actually, all of those colours are nice, Lindsay. I think I'm going to go with a green because that's a gentle colour. The word's gentle. I've seen a pink now. No. Commit, Lindsay, commit. I am just going to write the word gentle. I'm going to go to the side. Go like that. I'm not going to worry about it too much because this is not for show. Well, it kind of is for show, but it's for me. There we go. So what I was thinking with this word is when I was just going to put that on there. That says it all. When I was feeling like really rough at the beginning of the week, I I kind of had to take a hold of myself. It was at the weekend, actually. I kind of had a difficult time a couple of weekends ago, at the end of the week. I had to do, it's really silly, I had to do a first aid course, and there was lots of sort of rolling around the floor and doing the, practicing the compressions, and it's all vital stuff. But I have endometriosis, and it set a pain flare off. And then I get exhausted after I've had a pain flare. And so that I went into that week trying to push myself. I thought, because sometimes I can push myself through it. Trying to push myself through it, and I made a meditation video and the slow stitch videos. I think I made some other videos, I can't remember. I think I made a flip through. On top of, like, just stuffs. And so I pushed through. I had a bit of a difficult time in the middle of the week, but I pushed through. And then I got to this weekend, and it was like the world stood still. We still had an adventure, but I didn't actually physically do much on the adventure, although it was a little bit stressful. I bought a grandfather clock, and I did do some work on the grandfather clock on the Sunday, but it wasn't very strenuous, and my husband helped me out. It was a bit of a Griswold outing, like National Lampoon's Christmas. It was, or the holiday, vacation. We went to buy this grandfather clock, and we ended up getting lost, and then there was an accident on a major road, and so we were a lot later than what we said we would be to this place. I got it on Facebook Marketplace, which is a dangerous place to be, I find. Yeah, we got the clock, and then we were putting it in the car, and then, oh, bless him, Miles ended up hitting his head in the car with the clock, and he's got a black eye. So that in itself, oh man, when it happened, and my heart went into my mouth, and I was just like kind of worried. He was fine, and we checked him out. He wasn't concussed, and because also we had to drive 30 miles back home, so that was a bit like, all the hospitals are very far away from our house, Miles. So if he needed to, he would have gone there. Toot sweet, but we didn't need to. It was fine. It was just more sort of, I want that butterfly wing there. It just sort of put an edge on the day, really. He's all right. He's just got a black eye. We're going to the theatre on Friday, and I thought, we're going to look good, aren't we? Him and his black eye. But there we go. So anyway, that exhausted me, and so I just was able to make my slow stitch video, and that was it. I couldn't, and I was really beating myself up about it, because I have sort of committed to making videos. When I started, I just sort of was committed to it and wanting to put out more content, but I needed to rest, and I needed to be gentle with myself. And so I decided to be gentle with myself, and I let it go. I made a video about the grandfather clock, a little short, and put that out, and the slow stitch. And not try to worry about it, because I have anxiety and I do worry about things. And I worry that sometimes I make too many videos, sometimes I don't make enough videos, and it's just become another layer of anxiety, and I don't want that. And I want to get back to the things that I wanted from the channel, which was connection with others, a way to motivate sustainability, but also motivate good mental health. And I feel that I am achieving that I know people have said that they're looking at the way they craft more sustainably. and that people find the meditations helpful. And they're not necessarily the most popular videos, but I think they're the ones that make the connection, and that's what I want from the channel is the connection. So I'm going to be more gentle with myself. Slow Stitch September is coming up. Is going to end. There are loads. I have so many ideas. I just don't have all the energy. And I'm going to put the ideas out there and we're going to go with the flow, basically. So there will be Slow Stitch in October. And there's a project that's all sort of very linked into this sort of stuff. And I also have some family crafting that I need to do, like in preparation for Christmas. And there's Junk Journal January, but I've nearly finished my bit for that. Yeah, I know it's going to be okay, but I want to be gentle with myself. And I want you to be gentle with yourself too. In fact, that's my hope. And so we're not going to do a meditation, but I am going to sort of leave you with a hope, because that's what I do at the end of a meditation. I leave you with a sort of a hope. And I hope that you are gentle with yourself. I hope that you find gentleness in your life. And I hope that your art and your craft is a source of joy, that it brings you peace, that it brings you release and creativity. And joy. So, have a think. Would you like to make a box to put your meaningful words in? That then, I can make another label like that and put it in that journal. But if I have a box of meaningful words that I can reach for when I don't know what to put onto something, or perhaps don't know what to say, I have my own words, my own prompts. I'll put the link to, it'll be an Amazon link, I think, unfortunately, to the Brené Brown book. I think it's an excellent book for, looking at your emotions and stuff. That I was talking about. Did I talk about the Brené Brown book? I've started reading this Brené Brown book again that has a glossary of emotions and terms, and you can see I'm very tired because I'm a little bit scattered. This is sort of further inspired. I will talk more about it, but I will put the link to the Brené Brown book in there in case you want to have a look, because we will be thinking about it and looking at it and dwelling on some more words, but like doing a deeper dive to what the words might possibly mean for us. Yeah. I hope you will join me. So, if you found value, if you're still here, I'd love a comment, I'd love a like. Let me know how you're doing. Are you treating yourself gently? Don't feel under pressure. If I put a challenge out, do not ever feel under pressure that you have to finish something. I want to inspire, not to put pressure on people. I want you to be gentle with yourself and with others. We don't do perfection. Not here. All right then. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.